Welcome back to the Woodvise channel. Got a new project. We're building something as we normally do. This is going to start kind of in the middle of things because I just didn't get any photos or videos of this thing. So naturally I went to ChatGPT. I said, create me a photo of two 6x6 walnut posts that are rough cut. And that's what it gave me. Hey, that's pretty good. But then I was like, actually, can you weather them, make them rough cut, and 6 feet long? And this is what it gave me the second time. Now, honestly, that is almost exactly like what I came home with. And I took them to the bandsaw, which mine is completely underpowered. Got them cut into 2 pieces, ran them through the planer, edge jointed them, cut off the other side on the table saw, and now we're here gluing them up. A bench. Super simple. This was made out of some Douglas Fir that I had just sitting around. 12-inch wide boards. That's what I'm going to do with that. Obviously it'll be much more thick and robust and super heavy. Obviously the stretcher is what's keeping those things from splaying out, which is great. But glue is going to make this super strong too, so let's get to it. Alrighty then. Took those out of the clamps, brought them over, and then on the bottom side, since I didn't wipe the bottom side when I glued, I'm getting my trusty scraper. Works super well to just get that glue off really quick. It's a very hard surfaced scraper, so you really can go to town quickly. Next, I'm just running it through the planer. And again, scraping the other one. Just keep running it through the planer. I probably did it like, I don't know, 14 times. Little by little. I love how it turns out when you run things through the planer. It just makes it so soft. There on the edge, I was looking at a void that I was getting close, but turns out really good. Filled that void with some epoxy later on. Then we take it over to the miter saw. I always square up the miter saw with a speed square. Definitely helps to make sure I have square cuts before every time I use it. This board was just the top, so I made it as long as it could be. That's why you see I just have a sliver that I cut off. Set that board aside, and then next up we are going to find the angle. So taking my reference bench that I made years ago, I use this little angle finder gauge, lock it in place, make sure that it's all good to go, and take that over to the miter saw. It turns out that that angle was exactly 22.5 degrees, which is a stop on most miter saws. I probably did that on purpose years ago when I made that first bench, because it was simple. Now I'm just testing the fit just to double check, and it looks good. Then I cut a full piece just to make sure that leg was the same as the reference bench, and as long as it's the same on both legs, then it really doesn't matter the height, but I like the height that I made the first time, so that's what I'm replicating. Okay, I'm transferring that height, which was about 19 inches from that reference piece. I'm testing it out, and I think I'm liking it. Yeah, I think I like it. Transfer that length onto the next piece and just cut again. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. On to the next thing. So now I'm marking about 12.5 inches in from one side and then from the other. I came up with that measurement based on the reference bench again, but it also just makes it look like the splay is a little bit inside the actual top of the bench. That's why I chose 12.5. Now at this point it could be whatever because we haven't cut the stretcher yet. That's what we're trying to determine right now. In my case, the stretcher ended up being about 35 inches, and then I had a revelation that 35 inches needs to be actually longer than 35 inches because of the splayed. Once I did that, I found a 4/4 piece of walnut left over from other projects and started running that through the planer. What I'm doing now is actually putting the board through and then lowering down until it starts moving, and then I start hearing it cut. It definitely helps to figure out the depth at the beginning of your planing process. It's been a tip I've used for quite some time now. Now with Movie Magic, all of that planing we were done, and we move over to the table saw to cut the rough-sawn edge right off as wide as that board can be. It seems like I had some walnut sawdust stuck to my hand. I guess that's just par for the course. We interrupt this broadcast now to clean off my table from all the glue spilling. Something I should have done a long time ago, but what better time than now? That scraper comes in handy once again. Now that we've got our 3 pieces and our stretcher is over there on the right side with one angle cut, we're going to determine the other side of that stretcher. Basically, we're figuring out how thick these pieces are. From the 12.5, it ended up being, about 14.5, I suppose. And then what's the inside dimension of that stretcher on the short ends? So instead of figuring it out with math, I just use my marks, line it up on one side, go to the other side, and make that mark. And then I always make an angle line just to show me which angle cut to make. Back to the miter saw, cut that off, and now we've got the finished size of the stretcher. Now at this point, I'm thinking, I'll just use a clamp to kind of keep these together. Little did I know, angles like this do not work out so well with clamps. Foreshadowing, I try to do this in the future again, but it still doesn't work. So after a little while, I just give up. Then my next idea is to do this on the side and build up the 5 inches that I needed. So I brought these scrap pieces out, lined it all up, and it looked like I was about 1/4 inch short. So I went to my scrap pile and found 2 1/4 inch scraps that I can raise that up with. Now this is the point where I said, I can clamp this again. And again, it still doesn't work. So I moved on to filler. That's right. Chill epoxy comes out in my projects again. The black looks good. It's easy. It's quick. Just putty it on there just like so. And sand it down. Still sanding. Just keep sanding. Everybody loves sanding. We're on to the next thing. Here. My idea finally came to fruition. Okay, so since I can't clamp, what I'm going to do is use CA glue and activator. Basically, it'll act like a little glue clamp, So what I'm doing now is I'm putting wood glue on, but leaving 2 little spaces that I can just put some CA glue right there and on the other side. And then I spray activator. Hey, there I am, spraying activator. Cool. So now I put the piece in and line it up perfectly. Hold it tight by hand for a little bit, and then it should be good to go. Next, I'm using a drill bit to pre-drill the screws that I'm going to use. Previous to this, I used a larger drill bit that is the diameter of my plugs that I cut out to plug these holes. There's a closer look. Oh, never mind. There's my hair. But man, does that hair look good or what? Must have been a day that I showered. Anyway, going back to it. Screws in. Pre-drilling again. And then if you can guess what could come after this is the driver again with none other than another screw. If you like these videos and what I do, don't forget to like and subscribe. What a better time to tell you than right now as I repeat the process that I've shown you already. Once that's done, I can stand it up, and man, does that look good. Let's just see what it looks like with the top again. Oh, yeah. You know what I need? Oh, yep, stand back. Stand back and look at it. Yes. Yep, check that out. Make sure it's still smooth. Okay, on to the next thing. Drilling plugs. This is a plug hole cutter Medeely Mabobber. Put it in my little drill press and just keep drilling holes. I needed 4, I cut 5 because I guess I can't count. But here they are. Pretty. All right, here I'm showing you that I cut these where the glue line was. And there's a glue line right there. So I tried my best to put that glue line in the right spot, but you know what? It got close enough. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by how well these matched up, and you really can barely tell where they are from about 2-3 feet away. Clean up the glue screws out, and then get out the Japanese pole saw. It's like this saw was made to do that. Look at that, you can hardly see them anymore. Wow. Would you just look at it? Still looking. 2 to 3 feet away, can you see him? I didn't think so. Naturally, we go on to the other side. Building things is just repeating one thing over and over. Or in this case, 4 times. And, yep. Yeah, you gotta blow that sander off like it's a smoking gun. All right, got my helper in the shop for a little bit. William's just sanding away. Now I'm hand sanding. Oh, well, oop, okay. Well, probably should be careful. Sanding, sanding, sanding. Blowing that sanding off. And this is the bottom side. Why would we not want to just put it all back together and see what it's going to look like again? Oh, wait, this is actually us putting the top on. Great. All right, we're moving on. Marking out the locations. William's just having the time of his life. And I'm making sure that everything's squared up, ready to go. So I drill these holes in the right spot. So I'm going to come over here and mark 13 3/16. putting some painter's tape on so my depth of the holes are all about the same. Drilling those things out. Marking the center of the center. This top will be, as you can see soon, glued on and screwed, so I'm not too worried about putting too many screws in there. Coming back with a smaller drill bit there to pilot the holes, and now we're putting some glue on. And all William is telling me is that I put too much glue on, and so I pulled some off. You're welcome. Hopefully I don't get too much squeeze out. Let's put this top on nice and easy, nice and easy. There we go. And now what do we need to do but screw it down. And apparently every time I do a step, I've got to feel around. Still feels like walnut. We're on the home stretch now. We're going to turn this puppy over, do some squeeze out cleanup. The old straw trick that I need to teach William a little bit better at, but he did pretty good. Thanks, William. Clean off the glue with a rag that's a little damp. Let that dry off and it's good to go. A lot less sanding. Oh. Yeah, this is the part where I didn't show you any about plugging those holes, but you've seen it before. But there they are. Plugged, ready. Can you spot them? And Will did it all. On to the finish. Yeah, I'm using Rubio Monocoat Pure, which I normally always would if it's walnut. Really love how it looks when it's done. Gotta mix it up. Mixin'. Pour it on there, scrape it around. Ooh. Nothing better than putting finish on walnut. Look at that. Would you just look at it? Wow. Yes, I'll have some of that. Well guys, this project was a blast to do. Taking some really old looking walnut posts and it turns into this. Wow. Stay tuned for more projects like this. As always, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this content, and bye for now.